It's steady as she goes for Portland real estate. Let's take a look at the numbers. Hey everyone, RRMilligan here, bringing you the very latest in our local real estate stats and trends. The market sample that I'm working with, as always, is for the full Portland metro area, including Southwest Washington. Of course, some areas and some segments of the market are doing better than others. So if you're curious about what's going on in a specific area, just shoot me an email or post a question in the comment section here. First up are sale prices, which is one of the only major metrics in our market that seems to be showing much movement. Average sale price was up for the second week in a row and also landed higher than the average we had last year at this time. If we pull back and look at the bigger picture, the average sale price so far in the month of August, it's down 0.8% compared to the same time frame in 2024. That doesn't look great, but it is a big improvement compared to last week's negative 1.5% and a really big improvement compared to the start of the month when we were seeing prices come in as much as 3% lower than last year. On to supply, the number of homes that buyers had to choose from was down just a smidge compared to the previous week. Just like that week, the difference is so minimal that it feels pretty much flat. Again, supply doesn't typically level off and start to drop until, in a normal Portland market, until mid to late September, so this still feels a little bit early to be taking place. Next up is demand. The number of purchase contracts agreed to by buyers and sellers this last week keeps trucking along at pretty much the same range that we've been seeing for the last several weeks. And it's also continued to outpace last year's demand for a solid 8 weeks straight now. The number of Lockbox Opens, which is one of our best measures of high intent buyers out with their agents looking at homes, that number continues to outpace last year's number as well. However, given that buyers still have about 25% more homes to choose from compared to 2024, to a lot of sellers, they may not be feeling or seeing that difference in the number of showings. Next up are mortgage rates. Once again, mortgage rates landed in that 6.25% range for the 30-year fix. That's the note rate. That was the best rate that I could find advertised on Thursday morning. Looks like the yield on the 10-year Treasury was moving a bit lower on Thursday, so we might see a slight rate improvement in rates by Friday morning. As always, if there is a significant change as we head into the weekend, I'll post that in the comment section right here. One thing that caught my eye this week is that we seem to be seeing more canceled listings than we typically do at this time of year. That would coincide with a couple of articles I've seen about the national real estate market, seeing an increase in the number of sellers who have been delisting their homes for sale, that is, taking their homes off the market. A little bit of inside real estate here based on a recent rule change for the MLS, which is the realtor marketplace, the source from which all real estate search sites draw their information. That rule change makes me believe that this year when we're seeing cancellations, it's more likely to be someone who's actually taking their property off the market. On to days on market, both the average and median number of days that a home spent on the market before receiving an acceptable offer has been on the rise, but that is typical for this time of year, no surprise there. The average came in at 57, and the median, which is a little more indicative of what most sellers will experience, that came in at 35. Last year, those numbers were 41 and 19 respectively, so obviously it's taking a bit longer for homes to sell this year compared to last year. So let's sum up the biggest trends for the week. Prices were on the rise again this last week. Supply is still pretty much flat. Demand is steady as usual and still outpacing last year's demand, and mortgage rates came in pretty much where they were the week before. Well, there you have it, the quick roundup of the stats and trends for the Portland metro real estate market. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope that you got something helpful and informative out of the video. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you right here next week.